Welcome back to the Takeout. Welcome to the Conversation Corner. The establishment wing, if that's what we're calling it these days, of the Democratic Party took a bit of a hit Tuesday's primaries. We talked about that earlier this week. Congressman Dan Goldman, Adriano Espaillat in New York, both defeated by Zohran Mamdani, he's the mayor of New York City, backed challengers. Both representatives, it's interesting to know, were endorsed by House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries. That's where the establishment took a bit of a setback. Illinois Democratic Congressman Brad Schneider joins me now. He's chair of something called the New Democrat Coalition, which it says works to bridge the partisan divide, and it recently put forward a legislative roadmap should Democrats regain control of the House. We'll get to that in a minute. Brad, it's great to have you here. Thanks for coming in. Give me your sense of this increasingly visible and sometimes fractious conversation within the House Democratic caucus to be, if you get the majority, even if you don't, they're going to come anyway, Democratic Socialists and more mainstream Democrats as you identify yourself.
Yeah, I think there is a tension. We saw it. And so Mamdani endorsed 3 candidates in New York City, very specific, close to each other in New York City. What hasn't got as much attention in a little further upstate New York, Kate Conley won.
She was on this program last night.
I know that, and she's a New Dem endorsed candidate. In Utah, Ben McAdams won his primary against 3 further left candidates. He won running away with 56% of the vote. And just over the border here in Maryland, Adriano Espaillat won. Now, these were 3 candidates endorsed by the New Democrat Coalition. And New Dems also, Dan Goldman was a member of the New Dems, so we took a hit.
Right.
But with those 3 races that we won, we've added Kate Conley's coming to Congress. Ben McAdams is coming to Congress. Adriano Espaillat is replacing Steny Hoyer. Right. But we've expanded the Democratic caucus by 2 seats when they come to Congress. And we have 27 other candidates we've endorsed around the country that are expanding our caucus so we take the majority. So as we take the majority, it's moving to the middle.
You think so?
The numbers will move us to the middle.
Right.
At the same time, within the progressive side, what you saw in New York City was that, as you said, the establishment took a hit. You have the Democratic Socialists of America, which many don't identify as Democrats
at all. Right. They just use it in their words as a vehicle.
It's their platform to get the camel's nose under the tent.
Right.
New Dems have grown. When we were founded 30 years ago, 1997, there were 32 people who came together and said, we've got to break through the gridlock and get things done. And that's been our mantra ever since. When I came to Congress in 2013, there were 40-some members of the New Democrat Coalition. Today, we're 115. And with what we see happening and the election we're hoping for, we'll be 125, 130 members of the 225, 230 caucus.
Quick thing, you said Kate Conley's going to win. Mike Lawler, the sitting Republican congressman, will have something to say about that. So we'll see how the November results come in. But your point broadly is this is a small faction within the Democratic Party. However, from small factions, big things can come. And I would only remind you of what happened with the Tea Party on the Republican side.
Absolutely.
They became the House Freedom Caucus. They were the progenitors of what Donald Trump and populism in the Republican Party sort of took over it. So it doesn't mean it's not important. From small things, big things can happen.
We need to address the messaging. It's they're promising castles and clouds and a form of socialism that doesn't reflect what we believe is the Democratic Party. But there's a key difference. So 2010, Tea Party comes, they wiped out 63 Democrats. It was a wave election. I came in the following election. As I mentioned, there were a little over 40 members of the New Democrat Coalition. There are a comparable number, maybe even a few more of the what was then called the Tuesday Group, the moderate Democrats or moderate Republicans. They've shrunk to almost nothing. It's hard to find a moderate Republican left. They've been chased out. Donald Trump's had a very active role in chasing away the moderates. At the same time, the New Dems have grown. In fact, we're almost 3 times as big, and we continue to grow. So when the Tea Party comes into the Republican Party, and they could have ended up on either side back then, the center was on the descent on the right side. As these people are coming to Congress, what we're still seeing is the center left is on the ascent.
Is growing on the ascent. Okay. Let's get to this agenda, and I want to invite you back. We'll have a longer conversation about it. But you want to have a legislative roadmap if, in fact, Democrats take over the House. Right. What is it?
Well, the bottom line is people are frustrated. They're watching what is happening in Congress, and this is not new. And they're saying what happens in Washington, what happens in the Capitol and the White House has little bearing on my life.
They were frustrated when you were in charge with Biden, too.
Absolutely. And they're saying what's happening in Washington has little effect on my life. In fact, my life just keeps getting harder and harder. And we were talking before the show that, you know, our kids are about the same age. And this generation of late 20s, early 30s, looking at beginning families, buying a home.
They feel stuck.
It's if not impossible, it feels really hard. We've got to give a message to the American people of all ages, working families, people starting out, people looking at the cusp of retirement, that they have a chance not just to make ends meet. We're sitting here at the 25th of June, and families are sitting down at the kitchen table looking at their account balances and looking at their bills and saying, these don't fit anymore. Well, I don't want them just to be able to pay their bills. I want them to be able to save for retirement, to plan for their kids' education, to take or kids' education and take a vacation. If they can do all those things, that's affordability. If at the end of the month there's not enough money in the bank to pay your bills, that's the crisis we're in now, from housing to healthcare to we're looking at the impact AI is having. We need to give them a sense that we'll give people a chance to get ahead. We're going to tackle the hard challenges we face as a country, and we're going to try to restore faith in government and clear out the corruption we're seeing in this administration.
It's a tight majority for the House Republicans right now, so if any defections arise, they are stymied. Do you imagine if you get the House majority in the next Congress and you have these Democratic socialists, you could be similarly stymied?
If we follow the rules the Republicans set. There used to be the Hastert rule. You could only move forward the majority. And now it has to be only the majority from the majority, right? Mm-hmm. Mike Johnson has to get 218 votes of Republicans before he can move anything until crisis confronts him and he says, all right, I'll work with the Democrats. Or the Democrats can convince a few Republicans to join us on a discharge petition to force a vote on something. I expect when Hakeem Jeffries is Speaker, he's going to say, we're going to try to craft policies that will make life better, and we're going to reach across the aisle and bring Republicans and Democrats together on smart policy and move it forward.
Well, we'll wait to see if that happens. Brad Schneider, been a pleasure, from Illinois.
Thank you.
Please come back.
I'll do it.